Today we're going to have a brief tour of Oxygen. We're going to show you how to store a file in Oxygen, work with it in a mobile environment, and then share it with an outside customer. Let's start with the Windows environment. On your Windows desktop, Oxygen will appear as a mounted drive, typically the O drive. Within that O drive are folders that have special properties. We call them spaces. Some of these spaces may be personal. Some of them may be shared with either other internal users or even third parties. So clicking on one of them, Sales Team here, this is actually a shared space. And here's a set of documents that are actually viewable by a number of different people. Dragging a file from the desktop or saving it directly into the drive will sync the content to Oxygen and make it available to other people that have access to the shared space. As the file is synchronizing with Oxygen, you'll see a pink circular arrow, and when it's done, you'll see a green check mark. Now let's switch to a mobile scenario of seamlessly working between Windows and an iPad. So on the left we have Andrew putting a document into Oxygen, and on the right you have John, a sales guy, on the road with his iPad, receiving the document. As soon as Andrew puts the document into his desktop Oxygen environment, on the left, you'll see on the right that the iPad instantly receives the change. John can pull down the presentation wherever he is, take a look at it, and be ready to go. Let's say John makes the presentation and it's a smashing success, but he hears two things from the customer that need to be addressed before he thinks the deal is won. All he has to do with Oxygen is flip open an application, in this case Quick Office, to edit that PowerPoint. So now we see John on his iPad entering the presentation, making some edits to make the solution more specific for the customer, changing the terms of the proposal, and making a note to Andrew to share this new proposal with the customer as soon as possible. All John has to do is save it back into Oxygen, and if you look on Andrew's desktop on the left, you'll see that the file is now changed. Andrew can simply double-click it, and he will get the latest version of the presentation from John. It's really that simple. John didn't need a laptop, no one had to log into a portal, or send bulky attachments over email back and forth, or even links. That's the power of sharing on Oxygen. Now let's talk about different ways Oxygen helps you share with people outside of your company. So Andrew wants to create a private space to share the sales proposal and future correspondence with a client. All he has to do is go over to the task menu, click Manage Account, and log into the web client. From there, he can very easily create a new space. He can see the spaces he already has, create a new space for the client called Company A, and on the left side, you'll see that the space is now available on his desktop. It's very easy to add an outside guest to that space with just a few clicks. That guest will receive an email to join the space. Now Andrew can simply open up that space on his desktop and drag that presentation into the private area. Alternatively, Andrew could also right-click any file in the Oxygen environment and create a secure web link to it. Andrew can also add additional security of setting an expiration date and a password, and then paste it into his favorite email client. This will be available as an Outlook plugin very soon as well. That's it. Two really easy ways to share using Oxygen with the control to remove access at any point in time. Thanks a lot for listening.